Hi, everyone. Welcome to another episode of our Estrella virtual visit series. I am excited today to welcome Mark Metzka, who is from Slippery Rock University. And Mark and I have known each other for a long time, so I was thrilled that he was able to join me today to do this. And we've had students look at Slippery Rock over the years, and Mark and I were just chatting actually before we hit record on some really cool things that I think families should know, especially when it comes to affordability. But Mark, without further ado, I'll let you kind of take it away, give us an overview of Slippery Rock.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate being here. As Christina said, I'm Mark Metzka. I'm one of the out-of-state recruiters for Slippery Rock University. I've been working here at the Rock since 2004. Really long time. Attended Slippery Rock in the early 90s. Have a degree in sport management, a minor in business. But I do work primarily with the out-of-state population because of my roots in Ohio. And it's really fun for me to come and share the differences that we offer as opposed to some of the choices for the Ohio opportunities that you guys have in terms of higher education. So first and foremost, what is Slippery Rock University? And when I go to Ohio and recruit, students will ask me straight up, what's different about Slippery Rock? And that's simple, right? We're a mid-sized public. So our enrollment number right now is just a little bit over 8,400 total students, with almost 7,000 of those being undergrad. So that number, that enrollment number alone makes us different as it relates to your choices in a lot of places, not just Ohio. So it's a very different type of location and setting. Class size average has always been 25, student to faculty ratio 20-1. And the other unique thing about us as a public institution is the fact that we don't use grad students to teach any classes. 100% of our courses are taught by professors. 89% of our faculty have PhDs. So we are learning from doctorate level or terminally qualified faculty 100% of the time. And those faculty also advise. So you will have an expert advisor from your academic major who are well-versed, obviously, in curriculum, but also outcomes. So we're very in tune with the outcomes based. We are a member of a state system in Pennsylvania, which also makes us a little bit different. That state system is called PASHE, or the Pennsylvania State System of Higher Education, which consists of 10 universities and 14 campuses. So the one unique thing about us is all 14 PASHE campuses have the exact same tuition. Everybody's tuition is
Oh,
identical. So the annual tuition for the PASHE schools this year, and has been the same for 7 years, no tuition increase in 7 years, $7,716 is annual in-state tuition at all 14 PASHE campuses. So affordability, value, right? That's really what the state system in Pennsylvania has really strived. And even with some schools with declining enrollments, they have not turned to a tuition increase for students and families to help out those universities. It's been a 7-year freeze. So that's
wow.
something that we're really excited about for us. So the good thing for Slippery Rock is our enrollment right now around that 8,400 and a few. If you rewind all the way back to 2007, our enrollment was 8,100. So we've been strong and steady and consistent for a really long time, which has enabled us to provide the experiences for our students, not just on the academic side, but on the co-curricular side, right? The student life stuff, the involvement stuff, that stuff has really been able to be supplemented and complemented by funding that has helped us
Mhm.
out. And that translates to our measurable data. We have the #1 four-year graduation rate in the state system. We have the highest first to second year persistence rate in the state system. This group this year, this fall 23 class, 2 days ago was census day for us, and we retained that group at 84.2%. So
Wow,
really,
that's great.
really good job for a mid-sized public university on the student success side of the house. Okay, so academically speaking, about 150 undergraduate majors. So that's a nice thing about public is the academic array piece. About 40 graduate programs now. So it gives us the opportunity to offer the things that you find everywhere, but then it also offers the opportunity for some unique and kind of niche programs, safety management being one, um, healthcare administration and management, cybersecurity. We're the only state system school in Pennsylvania that offers degrees in dance, BA and BFA in dance. We have a BFA in musical theater, which draws students from all over the country because there's just not a whole lot of BFA in
Mhm.
musical theater. We will start in fall 25, construction management. We have 4 engineering programs: civil engineering, mechanical engineering, petroleum and natural gas engineering, industrial and systems engineering. So some of those things are homeland security is another kind of a niche program that our students are really having a lot of success. So that's the nice thing with Academic Array is when students get here and they kind of find their passion maybe a little bit different than what they thought it was going to be coming out of high school, we want to make sure that we have a lot of options and a lot of landing spots for those students. Biggest major for incoming freshmen, exercise science, followed by biology, then psychology. Psychology is a very rounded program here with a lot of pre-professional tracks in it as well, pre-physician assistant, pre-occupational therapy. And those are I guess, the most known graduate programs at Slippery Rock. We're kind of the health school now. We've transitioned into that with doctoral programs for physical therapy and occupational therapy, master's programs for physician assistant and athletic training. So there's a lot of students that are coming in on that exercise science, public health, bio, chem side of the house for pre-professional areas as well.
Can I ask a question real quick? When your students are
Absolutely.
applying, are they applying into majors? How are they doing that?
Correct. So the one thing that is different about our pre-professionals, no direct admit. The only one that's direct admit is athletic training. We're able to offer direct admit programs for athletic training because the cohort sizes are so small nationally. Only about 7.5 is the average for AT right now on the national scope. So 3.0 to get it, 3.0 to keep it, nothing below a prereq. You're good to go straight into athletic training, but everybody else for PT, PA, and OT reapply for the graduate programs. So they are coming in with a major. And we do have the accelerated option. So that's really the first choice. Do I want to accelerate? Do I want to be traditional pace? 3+ or 4+? And then which undergraduate major do I choose? So that's really where I spend the majority of my time meeting with students and families, trying to figure out how are we going to make up the time from senior year until entering into grad school? What is that going to look like? Because there's not one right way, right? There's a whole bunch of different avenues to get to the same finish line. And so we have to figure out what's going to be best for that student. Now, we are seeing a shift in this whole accelerated traditional thing. Back in the day, we would get 2/3 of the students going into the graduate programs out of the accelerated tracks. That shifted. So 2 years ago in our PT class, we have 52 seats. 36 of the 52 were Slippery Rock kids. 23 were traditional pace, only 13 accelerated. So that represents about 10% of what we bring in. So a lot of the students are starting in accelerated, slowing down to the traditional pace, typically in year 2. And it's not because they can't, it's because they want to do other things. They want more involvement. They're athletes, right? It doesn't really work for an athlete to be accelerated. They want to do a study abroad. They want to do faculty research. They want to do all these other opportunities, and they're just not in a hurry to get out of college anymore. Like they
Well,
used
and I think that's okay.
to.
I've told some students, don't rush through. I mean, how many of us wish we could just go back, right? And take advantage of those opportunities. Like you said, some of the things that you just mentioned and extracurricular, study abroad, et cetera. I think that's, that's the time to do it. And yeah, so why rush through it? Yep.
I think the value of the whole thing is advising, because we know that 5% of high school students become what they say they're going to become. So there's a lot of conversations that need to happen with that academic advisor. And that's really where I think our faculty have chosen to be here. If you look at their resumes and their bios, a lot of them have come from the big R1 institutions because they want student interaction. Do we have undergraduate research? Yes, a whole bunch of it, but it is not without students. Faculty here are not doing research on their own to secure grant money. They are doing research with students, collegially with students. The goal is to have that research presented, published, and then go on the resume for students for their graduate school application. So it's a different type of philosophy, right? More undergraduate focused teaching institution, and our students are the ones that benefit from that format. Okay, one of the other things that makes us unique is we're very aware that it takes more than just a degree, right? So our location and setting helps us in this area. We have about 9,000 people on campus if you include the old people, right? Students and old people. So about 9,000 of us. And our town, Slippery Rock, Pennsylvania, is 3,000. So it's a college town. And it's a college town that thrives because the community likes the campus and vice versa. There's a lot of good collaboration. The community's always been very supportive, but it also helps us attract students that really are into the involvement stuff. That is what they are looking for in their college experience, because we can't disguise what we are. You're going to come on this campus for your visit and you're going to say, what I do is going to be on this campus. It's not going to be hanging out in the city, right? Doing city stuff, non-university related. So students who are drawn to that type of college experience, it includes a lot of involvement, a lot of clubs and organizations, student government, leadership, study abroad, community service, all of those things are going to find our place appealing. And it is very much a campus feel. It's not something that's integrated, into a city block where you're not sure what's a city building and a campus building. When you're on campus, you're on campus. So it's that type of feel for students in a very rural, small, quiet, safe type of a place. So we've had a lot of resources go in that direction as well. And then also some new exciting stuff for us is actually a brick and mortar space called the Campus Success Center. We're opening that this fall. So probably by fall break, everybody will be kind of migrated over there. Tutoring center, counseling center, health center, all of the student support, dean of students, disability services, Center for Career and Academic Progress, financial aid, all in one spot. Okay. So really trying to encourage students to utilize it because we put a lot of resources in those areas. We have really big numbers of staff down there. We have 11 career coaches on this campus. Like it's a lot for a school our size. So now we're just trying to get students to utilize it even more. Our employment rates are good. They are strong. We start to work with freshmen on the career side. We do have conversations with first-year students talking about major choice, career pathway, life design. We sent all of our career coaches out to Stanford. We didn't have to twist their arm to go on that trip, but they went out there and they got trained on life design because one of our goals is we don't want our students to just get a job that they only do for a paycheck. We want you to like what you do, right? You have to get joy and energy and fulfillment out of your career pathway. So we talk about those things. What makes you joyful? What makes you happy? So fortunately for us, we have the ability and the resources to do that and have those conversations. So it doesn't become the dartboard method when students are changing their major. We're actually having some data and discussions that help those students get pointed in the right direction. So that is helpful. There's a really important person on our campus, and his name is Dr. John Rindy. We call him the Bald Career Guy. So if you are on X, you can follow him at Bald Career Guy. On LinkedIn for you guys, it is Dr. John Rindy, R-I-N-D-Y. Been here for about a dozen years and changed this office from a couple hundred appointments to over 4,000. He's definitely changed the culture on our campus in terms of career education and development. And really, really important guy and done wonders for this campus and our students and their outcomes. Okay, let's get to housing real quick and then we'll hit the application if that's okay with you.
Yep, perfect.
Okay, so two separate housing options. This is a nice thing for us because even though the PASHE schools have the exact same tuition, the fee schedules are very different, as are room and board costs. So we were able to keep around two what we call traditional, that's a nice way to say old people dorms. So when I was at Slippery Rock, that's all we had was traditional dorms, right? Community bathrooms, big rooms, 15 by 13. These rooms are huge, North Hall and Rhodes Hall. But in North Hall, because the rooms are so big, we do have a triple opportunity. So annual housing and food in a traditional triple is only under $6,300, $6,279 for annual housing and food. And then that gives us a total cost option for Pennsylvania kids under 17,000, and for the Ohio kids under 21,000, right around 21,000 for tuition fees, room and meals, even for out of state, even the out of state surcharge before any type of scholarship. So we'll talk about how we scholarship those kids. But for students from out of state that have a 3.0, the way it works is this: they receive an automatic reduction in tuition. It's not a scholarship, it's a tuition discount. So it takes your tuition from double the Pennsylvania down to 150% of the Pennsylvania. So that annual tuition becomes $11,574. That is for any out-of-state student that has above a 3.0. And then then we scholarship on top of that. So the scholarships range somewhere between 1,000 and 4,000. So if they're a 3.9 and up, they get additional 4,000 off of that just with merit scholarship, and then also the opportunity to earn another 1,500 with honor scholarships, which we award 40 honor scholarships. So I've seen a lot of students from out of state getting $5,500 worth of scholarship coming off of 11,574. So it does give us an opportunity. Our goal is simple: get in the mix with the public options in the home state. That's what we're trying to do with our tuition discount. How can we be competitive for an Ohio kid with Miami or Ohio State or Cincinnati or Kent or Bowling Green, any Toledo, any of the publics? That's our goal. And we've been pretty successful in doing that. Now, the other thing that makes us different, and I know you guys are starting to work with a little bit more student athletes, right, is that we are a public Division II. And public Division IIs don't always exist everywhere. There's only one in the state of Ohio. So for us, if you look at our rosters, particularly on the women's side, women's volleyball, softball, soccer, field hockey, lacrosse, they have a bunch of out-of-state students, and we're doing quite well over there because all of the D2s in Ohio typically are private institutions and they're smaller. So a lot of these students that come from the bigger high schools don't want to necessarily attend a college or university that has fewer students than their high school did, but yet they're D2 student athletes. So that's another opportunity for us as well. Okay, here is, let's see if I can do this. Can you see that screen?
Nope, it's a black screen, but before I saw the cost of attendance screen was up there.
Oh, you did see it? Okay.
Yeah.
How about now?
Yeah, it's not in presenter mode, but now it's good. Yep, you're good.
Okay, there you go. There's that cost of attendance screen. I just want to make sure people can see that. So PA resident down the left-hand side, the 3.0 kids in the middle. So we're giving you 4 different costs based on traditional double, traditional triple, suite style double, suite style triple. The difference between traditional and suite is simply private bathroom or communal bathroom. That's the difference, right? Newer buildings, living, learning communities, and that's the total cost. So we're, again, I think that we're trying to stay relevant and affordable with a lot of value. Okay, here's how the scholarship strategies work. We started at 3.5. This year's freshman class size on census day was 1536. The average GPA was 3.61. So we're attracting high quality students. So we start the merit-based stuff at a 3.5 for in-state, for out-of-state at a 3.0. Okay. All right. Here's the bad.
Can I ask a quick question about the honors scholarship, the honors program, real
Yes.
quickly?
Yep.
So it says there's a separate application for that piece of it. Is that something that they complete when they're completing their Slippery Rock application, or does the honors college application come after they've been accepted?
That's my suggestion. My suggestion is wait until you get admitted. And then the next step is to go ahead and work on that honors application. We are rolling admission. So we're getting offers out very quickly. So with our application, we are not on the Common App. That's first and foremost, sru.edu. We need your application. That will take about 15 or 20 minutes. No essay, no letters of recommendation. We have a $30 app fee unless you visit campus. If you attend an on-campus visit, your app fee is automatically waived. And then we're looking at the core GPA at the end of grade 11. So cumulative GPA 9, 10, and 11 weighted, certainly for the weighted courses that students are taking, and we'll get it turned around very, very quickly. So then they can move on to that honors college application.
Great, thanks.
And I will actually pull that up too and share. Okay. Suggestions for events, right? Fall open houses. We'll have faculty representation from every academic department. Everybody that we mentioned today will be there. Housing, financial aid, ball career guide, success coaching, ROTC, tours of campus, eat lunch in the dining hall. Unfortunately, no home football game this year on open houses. We usually have at least one that falls on a home game, and we give you football tickets if you come to an open house. But maybe you can catch a volleyball game, right? Maybe soccer's playing at home. Just insert yourself into the day a little bit. Exercise science day, really good day, popular, fills up very quickly on that's an afternoon visit. on November 15th, Honors Day in the morning. They do a wonderful job as well, talking about all the things with the Honors College, and then music major for a day has been a staple here for a long time as well for those music kids. Okay,
Perfect.
wanted folks to see that information, so they can feel free to reach out to me directly with any questions that they have. Can't find this link. One of the things that we do a really good job of is we have a block scheduling thing, so we kind of helps us get students out of here on time. When we have our academic updates with faculty, one of the common themes is we're really trying to get them out of here in 8 semesters. In fact, we're designing new majors that way, especially engineering. When they were talking about the engineering curriculum and how a lot of times engineering programs aren't getting kids done in 4 years. Well, a lot of that is because of the co-op stuff and the relevant experience stuff that you need, right? But it doesn't always need to be for credit. So we got 128 credits of engineering. They do the relevant experience, they do the internships. It's just not for credit. You don't need to pay us 12 credits to go work for somebody else. So it's done on their own, typically in the summertime, and kids are getting paid internships. They're just not having to pay for it for credit, and we're getting them out of here on time. So that's kind of where we're thinking, and the way that we're thinking. The provost is very, very big on all these new programs. Can we get them out in 4 years?
Okay.
That's
great. Yeah.
Okay. Real quick, if I can switch over and share this one, if it'll stay here. Can you still see that one?
Yeah, your screen, your website.
Just the homepage.
Yeah.
So if we go to academics up top and then down the left-hand side to the Honors College, it'll take you right to their page. So there's a really helpful video here on YouTube.
Okay.
I'm assuming that they get YouTube in Ohio. I'm not sure about that. And then over here, if you look to apply, this is important because not a lot of our students are having tests because we are test optional, right? We don't need a test for anything. Some of the affiliated programs like Lake Erie College of Osteopathic Medicine will require those. But for us at Slippery Rock University, even for pre-professional, no test required. But you can, if you have one and you have a 25 or higher, you can use that as an honors criteria. It says that you need to meet 2 of the 6. 6 is a little bit deceiving because 3.25 college GPA, that's not talking about dual enrollment, that's talking transfer students.
Yeah.
So 3.8 and letter of recommendation is typically what we are seeing for the students. Now, if they were close to that 3.8, I would encourage them to apply because it's a little bit more about this stuff. Your essay, resume, your letters of rec, and your additional materials. And right here, you'll see optional next to these. We brought in 200 freshmen this year in the Honors College, and 40 of them got scholarships. So I can tell you that the 40 that got scholarships, they opted in to those optional, and they did a good job in those areas with the co-curricular stuff, the resumes, the additional materials, their involvement. Right? That's what's going to make the difference on the 40 students that get scholarships.
So one other quick question about scholarship stuff. Other than this, do any of those other scholarships require additional scholarship applications, or are they all automatic consideration?
Certain majors do. And they will let you know because those fall under the donor scholarships.
Got it.
If we're here, admissions, financial aid, there's a lot of clicks, so I don't even want to bore you with it. Financial aid, types of aid, scholarships, first year scholarships. You'll come to the scholarship page and it will tell you freshman scholarships, additional information required. So it's usually these. But then also the college scholarships, like biology, requires additional information. Liberal arts is typically the auditions, right? That's really where they're like the dance department awards their scholarships based on the performance at the audition. But there are a few. So if you apply to us in a major that requires that, that will be articulated to you in your acceptance.
Okay, great. We have compiled a list of what we term as hidden scholarships, even though they're obviously not hidden. They are available on websites of the universities, but we have a list that we've started to maintain where we put this information so that students don't miss out on those opportunities when they're looking at a school, that they know to either wait for that notification that they should be applying for that, or like in the case of the honors college, that there's an additional opportunity, but you have to be admitted to the honors college, for example. So
Yep.
that's why I asked that question. But
That's a good
no,
one. And
this
they
is
are rolling with their admission as well. Honors College is rolling. However,
okay.
they will make their scholarship decisions when we return from winter break.
Okay.
Okay. So we come back the day after MLK, which is the 21st. Yeah, 21st this year. We come back. So I would have those students, and we do have a scholarship deadline that we encourage students to have their applications to SRU in by December 1 for full
Okay.
consideration of our merit scholarships.
Okay. Good to know. Okay. So if people have questions, I know you shared your contact information already. You haven't shared that screen. Um, could they reach out to you? And if they're not I know you work with out of state students, if they're not from your recruitment territory, you'd be happy to connect them, I'm assuming, with whoever the right admission person is that would be working with them. Is that the best plan of
Yeah, just
attack
reach
for
out to me.
students?
Absolutely. Yeah, because most of the
Okay.
time it's just going to be me hanging on to them anyway.
Okay.
Because it's not just Ohio for me
Yep. Yep.
anymore. So
Yep.
yeah, that's
Awesome. Well, and I'll put in a final plug. Um I Mark knows this, but I have a niece who graduated from Slippery Rock who had a great experience. I've been on campus, the engineering facilities. I did a deep tour last year, and they were pretty incredible. I will tell you that. In addition to just like beautiful facilities in general, student center, residence halls, et cetera. And then Mark mentioned a couple times, in terms of size. So if you are an Ohio student or family watching this recording, I will say we don't have schools of this size in Ohio. And like Mark mentioned, this is not the kind of institution that we have. So it is definitely worth a look. If you don't want super small, super big, this is a great, comfortable in between. And I will say that even though you're rural, I know even just from my niece's experience, there's a lot going on campus. It's still it's a pretty active place, and there's a lot to do, and between the arts, athletics, et cetera. So I definitely think it's worth a look, and obviously proximity wise, not so far away. So I think it's a really great option. So I'm a big Slippery Rock fan. So I'm glad that we were able to have you join us, Mark. And thanks for sharing all the information. And like Mark said, if you have any questions as you're watching this or afterwards, and you maybe want to get out for a visit or something like that, they're super accommodating. So if you can make it for one of those open house days, but I know they have individual visits too. So definitely reach out to Mark. And Mark, thank you for taking the time. I know you're in your busy recruitment season, so I always appreciate you spending time with us over the years. So it's great to see you. Great to hear about updates at Slippery Rock, and I hope the rest of the season goes well for you.
I appreciate that. Always appreciate the time with you guys and everything that you guys do. So thank you.
Awesome. Thank you. Have a good one. Bye bye.
Bye bye.